My topic, natural bliss and divine pleasure. Being a pleasure seeker myself, seeking, where is it where there's happiness and love and joy and good feelings without the slightest hint of misery. And then as you get out there and you go through all the stuff, you go through all the misery, you start to look at, well, how do I get rid of this misery or whatever? So you have to, if you want to get rid of something which is an effect, you've got to find the cause. You don't treat a symptom. A symptom, the cause is still going, so there'll be just other symptoms or that reoccurring because you haven't dealt with the cause. Natural bliss is not a state of ignorance and like, I'm blissed out. It's not a state of just, zombie-like, not at all. It's actually just a state of our being without thinking, without focusing on the stream of thoughts. And that state, because there's no agitation, we're in the now, which means there's no programming. There's no past, present, future. It's us being. So natural bliss is that which I write in my book, Live Your Bliss. Now, and divine pleasure then, you're there, and then divine pleasure, love of God is supreme pleasure for the soul. And for me, what that meant and why that made such an impact on me is to realize as a pleasure seeker, I'm looking for this fulfilling kind of pleasure that maybe you have for fleeting moments or in some relationship, or you have something that is gone or you're afraid you're going to lose it, and then it goes, and then they die, and then you just go on and on and on. There's suffering. This is what this false mind, this second voice, which means this false God that some people prefer to listen to, is using your mind as a communication device and a programming and a manufacturing 3D printer machine of some kind. I don't know. But the key then is when you're here in divine pleasure, you are self-satisfied because you're recognizing and activating your relationship with our supreme mother, father. Sources are, yes. And we are like them, because that's our nature, we all are, in minute quantity, and yet we're all, in a sense, equal parts and parcels, and we're manifesting here in human bodies and expressing here. And so while then how we transform here is not through fear, contemplating, analyzing, figuring out all of this, it's through you letting all of those beliefs that are terrorizing, all of that scarcity, all of that fear, all that doubt, all of those thoughts, words, sounds, beliefs, concepts, religion, government, all of these things, products, services you got to have, all these stories. This is a narrative. This is the story that keeps people, has kept us, in a sense, just manufacturing our own suffering with little bits of feeling no pain, you see. That's not who we are. That something has made us forget our identity, and we somehow agreed to that. Break those agreements. On the deepest level, you do not, no, activate the supreme divine agreement is always recognizing our divine mother, father, God, source partner with each of us, and that we're already unified. Yes. And as a divine being, we work for the welfare of all, including animals. And when we do that, and we work in harmony that way with our own divine nature, which is a nature of giving and sharing and playing, and because you see, we have no fear. That does not exist. That doesn't exist. It's a concept of images and pictures and words and beliefs that to be in that natural bliss and at the same, just there, being now, and then feeling and being, because right as who you are, in love with and loving your God self, and loving you, the reciprocation, and therefore you're in love with and acknowledging the God self of all real living entities, spirit, soul beings, true divine beings. You are real. So in that state of natural bliss, your mind is not agitating you. So how do you do that? With some breathing meditations. Practice not thinking, and you'll get, and even start to watch your thinking. You're going to look, where's it taking you? Start to notice all that. Don't believe me. Test it. And what's it doing? And creating fear and scarcity and suffering. What's become of me? And all of this just like cowering. No. Be who you are. And what is so cool about that is it seems to be an ever internalizing and expanding and increasing taste of the love of God. And the goddess, is like, yeah. And when you're in that state, wherever you are, you're connected. Especially if you can go barefooted in nature. Really important. Every day somehow. Get back connected with the earth, in the elements of the body. Listen. Listen to the sounds and the quietness. Little waterfall. And then listen to the sound of yourself. Listen to the sound within you. Not thinking, just listening. In this state of natural bliss, divine pleasure, which is your pleasure of your own beloved relationship. And then you're giving and loving always. And you're intelligent, you're guided, you're directed. No fear, no worry, because you're not feeding the false mind, the fear. You're anchored and centered in bliss, yes, and heart.